Welcome. Today we visit the graves of famous American military figures, men whose decisions, sacrifices, and leadership shaped history long after their final salute. John J. Pershing died on July 15, 1948. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. General of the armies who led American forces in World War I. George Washington died on December 14, 1799, age 67. Buried at Mount Vernon, Virginia. Commander of the Continental Army and first United States President. Ulysses S. Grant died on July 23, 1885, age 63. Buried at Grant's Tomb, New York City. 18th President and Union commander who accepted Lee's surrender at Appomattox. William Westmoreland died July 18, 2005. Buried at West Point Cemetery, New York. Army general who commanded United States forces during the Vietnam War's escalation. Nathaniel Greene died on June 19, 1786, age 43. Buried beneath the Nathaniel Greene Monument in Savannah, Georgia. Revolutionary War general who crippled British forces in the South. P.G.T. Beauregard died February 20, 1893. Buried in Metairie Cemetery, Louisiana. Confederate general who ordered the opening shots of the Civil War at Fort Sumter. Omar Bradley died April 8, 1981. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. Five-star general who led the largest United States Army group. Andrew Jackson died on June 8, 1845, age 78. Buried at the Hermitage, Tennessee. War hero of New Orleans and 7th United States President. John Bell Hood died on August 30, 1879. Age 48, buried at Metairie Cemetery, Louisiana. Confederate general known for brutal offensives in 1864. Ross McGinnis died December 4, 2006. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Medal of Honor recipient who sacrificed his life to save his crew from a grenade in Iraq. John Mosby died on May 30, 1916, age 82. Buried at Warrenton Cemetery, Virginia. Confederate Gray Ghost, master of hit-and-run raids. Audie Murphy died May 28, 1971. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. Most decorated United States combat soldier of World War II. George S. Patton died on December 21, 1945. Buried at Luxembourg American Cemetery. Bold World War II, general known for armored warfare and relentless battlefield drive. Phil Sheridan died on August 5, 1888, age 57. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. Union cavalry commander who crushed Confederate mobility. George Pickett died on July 30, 1875, age 50. Buried at Hollywood Cemetery, Virginia. Confederate general forever tied to Pickett's charge. Horatio Gates died on April 10, 1806, age 78. Buried at Trinity Churchyard, New York. Continental general credited with victory at Saratoga. Zachary Taylor died July 9, 1850. Buried at Zachary Taylor National Cemetery, Kentucky. Mexican war hero and 12th President of the United States who died in office. Matthew Ridgway died July 26, 1993. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Army general who turned the Korean War around and later served as Supreme Allied Commander Europe. Benedict Arnold died on June 14, 1801, age 60. Buried at St. Mary's Church, London. Revolutionary War general who defected to the British. James McPherson died on July 22, 1864, age 35. Buried at Clyde Cemetery, Ohio. Union general killed at Atlanta, mourned by both sides. Chester Nimitz, died on February 20th, 1966. Buried at Golden Gate National Cemetery, California. Fleet Admiral who commanded United States Pacific Forces to victory in World War II. R. Lee Ermey, died on April 15, 2018, age 74. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. Former Marine drill instructor turned Full Metal Jacket star. Robert E. Lee, died October 12, 1870. Buried at Lee Chapel, Washington, and Lee University, Virginia. Confederate general who commanded the Army of Northern Virginia. Chris Kyle, died February 2, 2013. Buried at Texas State Cemetery, Austin, Texas. Navy SEAL sniper and author of American Sniper. Dwight D. Eisenhower, died on March 28, 1969. Buried at Eisenhower Presidential Library, Abilene, Kansas. Five-star general and 34th president who led Allied forces in World War II. Norman Schwarzkopf, died on December 27, 2012. Buried at West Point Cemetery, New York. Four-star general who commanded coalition forces during the Gulf War. George McClellan, died on October 29, 1885. Buried at Riverview Cemetery, New Jersey. Union general and later governor, known for building but cautiously leading the Army. Ira Hayes, died on January 24, 1955, age 32. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. Marine Iwo Jima flag raiser turned national icon. Marquis de Lafayette, died on May 20, 1834, age 76. Buried at Picpus Cemetery, Paris. French general who fought beside Washington for independence. Rutherford Hayes, died January 17, 1893. Buried at Spiegel Grove, Ohio. Union officer and 19th president whose term ended Reconstruction after the 1876 election. William Tecumseh Sherman, died February 14, 1891. Buried at Calvary Cemetery, Missouri. Union general best known for the March to the Sea and total war tactics. Douglas MacArthur, died on April 5, 1964. Buried at MacArthur Memorial, Norfolk, Virginia. Five-star general who commanded in World War II and the Korean War. Bob Kalsu, died July 21, 1970. Buried at Fort Sill Post Cemetery, Oklahoma. Professional football player who left the NFL and was killed in action in Vietnam. James Garfield, died September 19, 1881. Buried at Lakeview Cemetery, Ohio. Civil War general turned president whose assassination ended a presidency after only 6 months. George A. Custer, died June 25, 1876. Buried at West Point Cemetery, New York. Cavalry officer killed at Little Bighorn in a defining American battle. Nathan Bedford Forrest, died October 29, 1877. Buried at Elmwood Cemetery, Memphis, Tennessee. Confederate cavalry commander noted for raids and post-war infamy. Braxton Bragg, died September 27, 1876. Buried at Magnolia Cemetery, Alabama. Confederate general noted for rigid discipline and controversial command decisions in the Western Theater. Bull Halsey, died on August 16, 1959. Buried at Woodlawn Cemetery, Bronx, New York. Fleet admiral who commanded United States naval forces across the Pacific in World War II. James Longstreet, died on January 2, 1904. Buried at Gainesville City Cemetery, Georgia. Confederate Lieutenant General and Robert E. Lee's most trusted Corps commander. George Dewey, died on January 16, 1917, age 79. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. Admiral of the Navy and hero of Manila Bay. Paul Revere, died May 10, 1818. buried at Granary Burying Ground, Boston, Massachusetts. Revolutionary patriot famed for warning colonists before Lexington. Stonewall Jackson, died May 10, 1863. Buried at Stonewall Jackson Memorial Cemetery, Lexington, Virginia. Confederate general killed after friendly fire wounds. Jeb Stuart, died on May 12, 1864. Buried at Hollywood Cemetery, Richmond, Virginia. Confederate cavalry commander famed for speed, raids, and reconnaissance. Roscoe Robinson, Jr., died July 22, 1993. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery. First African-American four-star general in the United States Army and senior NATO commander. Daniel Morgan, died on July 6, 1802, age 66. Buried at Mount Hebron Cemetery, Virginia. Tactical genius behind victory at Cowpens. Jefferson Davis, died December 6, 1889. Buried at Hollywood Cemetery, Virginia. President of the Confederate States, former United States Senator and Secretary of War. George C. Marshall, died on October 16, 1959. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. Army general and Nobel laureate who shaped post-war Europe through the Marshall Plan. Ray Odierno, died October 8, 2021. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Four-star general and Army Chief of Staff who led operations in Iraq during the surge. Joseph E. Johnston, died March 21, 1891. Buried at Greenmount Cemetery, Maryland. Senior Confederate general who clashed with Jefferson Davis and favored strategic retreat over risk. Benjamin O. Davis, Sr., died on November 26, 1970, aged 93. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. First African-American U.S. Army general. Ambrose Burnside, died September 13, 1881. Buried at Swan Point Cemetery, Rhode Island. Union general and governor remembered for Fredericksburg and his distinctive whiskers. John Basilone, died on February 19, 1945, aged 28. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. Medal of Honor, Marine killed in action on Iwo Jima. Oliver Hazard Perry, died August 23, 1819. Buried at Newport Common Burial Ground, Rhode Island. Naval hero of the Battle of Lake Erie in 1812. Jimmy Doolittle, died on September 27, 1993. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. Aviation pioneer and Medal of Honor recipient who led the daring Doolittle raid. Alvin York, died September 2, 1964. Buried at Wolf River Cemetery, Pall Mall, Tennessee. World War I hero awarded the Medal of Honor for bravery. John Paul Jones, died July 18, 1792. Buried at United States Naval Academy Cemetery, Annapolis, Maryland. Father of the American Navy and Sea Hero. Glenn Miller, disappeared on December 15, 1944. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. Army Air Forces major and bandleader who vanished over Europe in wartime flight. Patrick Cleburne, died November 30, 1864. Buried at Maple Hill Cemetery, Alabama. Respected Confederate general later called the Stonewall of the West. Chesty Puller, died on October 11, 1971. Buried at Christ Church Parish Cemetery, Virginia. Legendary Marine general famed for heroism from World War II to Korea. George Meade, died on November 6, 1872. Buried at Laurel Hill Cemetery, Pennsylvania. Union general who defeated Robert E. Lee at Gettysburg. John Bradley, died on January 11, 1994. Buried at Queen of Peace Cemetery, Antigo, Wisconsin. Navy corpsman and Iwo Jima flag raiser, immortalized in one of war's iconic images. Michael Anderson, died February 1, 2003. buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Astronaut and Air Force officer killed when Space Shuttle Columbia disintegrated on re-entry. Hap Arnold died on January 15, 1950, age 63. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. Only officer to hold General of the Air Force rank. Stephen F. Austin died December 27, 1836. Buried at Texas State Cemetery, Austin, Texas. Founder of Texas and key figure in early independence efforts. Elwood Driver died July 16, 1999. Buried at Brigadier General William C. Doyle Cemetery, New Jersey. Tuskegee airman and respected Army aviator. Ernest King died June 25, 1956. Buried at the United States Naval Academy Cemetery, Annapolis, Maryland. Fleet admiral who directed United States naval strategy during World War II. Jonathan Wainwright died September 2, 1953. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Medal of Honor recipient who endured years as a prisoner of war after surrendering in the Philippines. Abner Doubleday died on January 26, 1893. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. Union general at Gettysburg, later mythically linked to baseball's origins. Barbara Rainey died August 13, 1982. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. First woman United States naval aviator and reserve officer pioneer. Sam Houston died July 26, 1863. Buried at Oakwood Cemetery, Huntsville, Texas. General and statesman who secured Texas independence at San Jacinto. Henry Knox died on October 25, 1806, age 56. Buried at Thomaston Village Cemetery, Maine. Washington's chief of artillery in the Revolution. Light Horse Harry Lee died on March 25, 1818, age 62. Buried at Dungeness Cemetery, Georgia. Cavalry commander and father of Robert E. Lee. Alexander T. Augusta died on December 21, 1890, age 65. Buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. Highest-ranking black medical officer of the Civil War. Sam Davis died November 27, 1863. Buried at Mount Olivet Cemetery, Nashville, Tennessee. Confederate courier executed as a spy, later revered. Fitzhugh Lee died April 28, 1905. Buried at Hollywood Cemetery, Richmond, Virginia. Confederate cavalry general and nephew of Robert E. Lee. James Otis died May 23, 1783. Buried at Old Bearing Point Cemetery, Salem, Massachusetts. Revolutionary patriot whose writings shaped resistance to British rule. Presley O'Bannon died September 12, 1850. Buried at Frankfort Cemetery, Kentucky. Marine officer famed for raising the United States flag at Derna in 1805. William Simpkins died May 10, 1944. Buried at Oakwood Cemetery, Austin, Texas. Confederate private said to have fired the war's first shot at Fort Sumter. Thomas Paine died June 8, 1809. Buried at New Rochelle, New York. Revolutionary writer whose common sense fueled American independence. Francis Marion died on February 27, 1795. Buried at Belle Isle Plantation Cemetery, South Carolina. Revolutionary War general known as the Swamp Fox for guerrilla warfare. George H. Thomas died on March 28, 1870, age 53. Buried at Oakwood Cemetery, New York. Union Rock of Chickamauga, famed for steady defense. Felix Zollicoffer died January 19, 1862. Buried at Old Gray Cemetery, Knoxville, Tennessee. First Confederate general killed in the Western Theater. Anthony Wayne died on December 15, 1796, age 51. buried at St. David's Episcopal Cemetery, Pennsylvania. Mad Anthony of the Revolutionary War. Winfield Hancock, died on February 9, 1886, age 61, buried at Montgomery Cemetery, Pennsylvania. Union hero at Gettysburg and later presidential nominee. Charles Smith Hamilton, died September 14, 1875, buried at Forest Hill Cemetery, Madison, Wisconsin. Union general who resigned amid mental health struggles. Benjamin Cheatham, died September 4, 1886, buried at Mount Olivet Cemetery, Nashville, Tennessee. Confederate Major General regarded as one of the Army's strongest field commanders. Alvin Gillum, died December 29, 1895, buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. Union brevet major general who commanded cavalry operations late in the war. William Dawes, died February 25, 1799, buried at King's Chapel, Barricade Burying Ground, Boston, Massachusetts. Patriot writer who warned colonists with Revere. Daniel Chappie James, died February 25, 1978, buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. First African-American four-star general in United States history. Billy Mitchell, died on February 19, 1936, buried at Forest Home Cemetery, Wisconsin. Aviation pioneer whose ideas laid foundations for the United States Air Force. Pappy Boyington, died on January 11, 1988, buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. Marine ace and Medal of Honor recipient who led the legendary Black Sheep Squadron. William Leahy, died July 20, 1959, buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Fleet Admiral and Roosevelt's chief military advisor, the most senior officer on active duty in World War II. Fighting Joe Wheeler, died January 25, 1906, buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Confederate cavalry general who later served as a United States general in the Spanish-American War. Bedell Smith, died August 9, 1961, buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Eisenhower's chief of staff during World War II and later director of the Central Intelligence Agency. John Buford, died December 16, 1863, buried at West Point Cemetery, New York. Union cavalry general whose defensive stand on July 1 secured high ground at Gettysburg. William Shafter, died November 12, 1906, buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Medal of Honor recipient and Major General who commanded United States forces in the Spanish-American War.